Hey everybody, and welcome to The Tech Truth. My name is Jason, and today we're going to be reviewing the Ring Doorbell Video Pro 2. Started with the Ring Doorbell 1 quite a while ago. I've had it since the beginning. It had its flaws, it had its positives. We've moved on, we're now at the 2, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and try to get you a little bit up to date on the problems that are existing with this one. First off though, just so you know, we're not going to go into all the spec details of this doorbell. You could easily just go on Google and search it and you'll get all the information you want. So we're going to kind of focus on what makes it special or what makes it a problem. Right now, this doorbell is an upgrade on the original based on the fact that it now does 150 degrees by 150 degrees horizontal and vertical. So 15 by 36 HD, which gives you the perspective of, you can now see really high. You can most times you can see your roof. A lot of times you can see your stairs or wherever your door is without missing it. Right, the old one, it was a 16 by 9. You really missed a lot of one or the other when you had it set up. Problem with this one is though, is with that big great view, you also have issues where you really can't set it up properly without one of their wedge kits or one of their angled kits. So if you really want to see down on your doorstep to see those packages when you're not at home, you really do need to get that package and angle it down towards the ground a little bit. Otherwise, your chances are, from what I've seen, is that you're catching your roof in a lot of cases, and maybe a lot of your stairs, but not everything, depending on where you can set it up. So really, when you're looking at it, make sure you know what you really want to try to grab with it, and get the kits to help you along with that. In addition, you also have 3D motion, which is brand new on this Ring doorbell. This 3D motion enables you to view on the ground in a separate box up at the top where the person or motion is coming from. So if someone's walking up to your door, you'll actually be able to see them on a little box on the top corner where they're walking. You can see them and it'll show you exactly where they are on your property. Again, problem with that is, I don't know if everyone, well, not everyone's in Canada. I am. Quite honestly, when you zoom into the little box during setup to get your angles right, because Ring requires you to place it exactly on your home, and then you have to place it on exactly how it's angled on the satellite imagery that they give you in their little setup box in Android or iOS. But when you're doing that, depending where you live, and again, I'm in central Canada, the imagery that they're using, the open data imagery, actually isn't very clear. So when I tried to set this one up and I was trying to angle it, and it's pretty straight, so it's not too bad, but you really can't get a really good grasp. So if you have specific points in your yard where you can set it, and you can tell like that's straight and everything else is off to the side of that, it makes it really difficult. So although it's a nice feature and it's great to have, and if you're someone who's really worried about, well, where is this person on my property when they're walking up, it's really good, but setting it up can be a little bit finicky depending on where you are and the region that the imagery is, and how pixelated or how good the imagery actually ends up being. Additionally, the Ring Video Doorbell Pro 2 also has Alexa built in, so it'll tell people, leave the package at your door, leave it here, put your package, do you want to leave a message, things that the old one never really did have. So some of the additional features that are positives when buying this camera really start with, when compared to the old one, is it has 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi on it. The old one didn't. So a lot of the times when you're using it, someone come to your door, they'd ring your doorbell. No matter how strong your 2.4 gigahertz signal was, your Wi-Fi signal was or is, it never was able to answer the door and show you the picture. So it would pop up on your app, you'd press the button, it would sit there and it would spin and it would spin and it would spin, and usually either nothing would happen and it would say can't connect, or it would just go black. And by the time you actually got into it, the person is usually gone. So nice now with this Ring doorbell is that it has 5 gigahertz built in, so bigger bandwidth, greater ability to stream on the net. So since using it, I haven't had any problems. People come to the door, they ring the doorbell, my digital doorbell goes off, and I can actually zoom in and I can actually turn it on and talk to them, unlike previous versions. So until recently, this used to be the most expensive Ring doorbell that they had. in the last few months, a little bit more, Ring has released the Video Doorbell Elite, which is actually 459 Canadian. Comes with a lot of the same features. Doesn't, as far as I can tell, it doesn't have a whole lot more than this one. But it is what it is. I'm not here to talk about whether you want the Elite, this one or whatnot. I just thought you should know that it is now the second most expensive camera at the $249 US price, $349 Canadian. Still a little bit, but you actually do get quite a lot for what you're paying for. Although that service that usually comes with it for recording is something you're gonna have to pay $3 extra on this for. So the last thing I can think of that is really important when buying this camera is it is not a wireless doorbell. It does require an existing wire. It does require an existing wired connection in order to work, which, depending on how you look at it, is good and bad. If you don't have an existing system in place, then it is bad because you can't set it up without running those cables. The good thing is if you live, again, I live in central Canada. If you live in a cold climate or a hot climate, or where we range from plus 40 to minus 40, especially in the negatives, is that the batteries don't last. And we'll talk about that in some other videos when we get into spotlight cams and some of the other versions of Ring cameras that are available. But really, from my experiences, that in the cold weather, those Ring doorbells with batteries, or any of the Rings with batteries, just do not work properly. They die within weeks. You're lucky if you get a month out of it, and that even includes using a solar panel. I've tried that again, and we'll get into that in some other videos. So it's nice. You set it up, you connect it, you never have to worry about power. It's just there. One of the biggest negatives with this doorbell, though, is the fact that the night vision has changed since the last version 1. So originally in the Ring Video Doorbell Pro Gen 1, version 1, you had 3 infrared sensors that turned on at night no matter what. So it was just 3 sensors, lit up your yard. You could see everything as far as you needed to, no problems. Well, with this new one, they've come up with this new system for the night vision, and I guess it's okay depending, but I think they're missing a setting on it. So now you have a standard, which turns on 2 outside infrared sensors. You have a well lit, which is essentially, it's all lit up by external lighting. You don't need any of the infrared. And then finally you have wall nearby, which turns on 1 infrared sensor in the middle. So I called Ring's tech support about this, trying to figure out, well, why isn't my yard lighting up? Like, I can see everything by the wall, obviously. I can see it when my lights are on, but as soon as I turn all the lights go off and it actually gets dark, unlike the old Ring Video Doorbell Pro, which turned on all 3 sensors and then maximized your area that you're actually viewing. This one, again, even on standard with the 2, only turns on 2. Well, when I called tech support and asked them, like, well, how many sensors does this Video Doorbell Pro have? And I don't know if their tech support is just unsupported or the guy couldn't find the information, but he told me, oh no, it has a max of 2 infrared sensors on it. And I'm like, well, why? What is the point of that? Like, when I go to look at my yard, I can't even grasp my entire yard right beside the house even. This just doesn't help me. At night, I can't see everything in my yard. And oh no, we only have 2. That's just the way it is. That's the best way we figured how to make it work. So as of this recording, that has not been updated. That's not something that they still feature. And to date, I still can't see the whole. If you're looking at the doorbell, like I still can't see this portion of my yard that has no wall, no lights. It's just plain black at night. You can kind of play with it if you start to flick back and forth, and then there's a second or a moment there where you can see that all 3 are turned on and your yard lights up again. So it can be done. That's on Ring to do, and it needs to be known when you're looking at this camera. So you really got to make a decision. What do you want out of this Doorbell Pro? Because it is still a good product, and if you're using it more specifically for the day to track packages and people and whatnot, then you are going to get a pretty good camera. Like, it is more crisp. Things that used to be pixelated aren't as pixelated. It just looks like a higher image with this new 1536. It covers way more areas, so you can see if you just set it up properly, you can see packages on your step. Great. You can see when people are in your yard. You can see where they are in your yard. And there's different, based on the different settings, and you can set it for way out far, almost unlimited, and then, as they call it, and then you can set it for 30, 60, 90 feet, depending on what you want to record. Unfortunately, if you, one of your biggest concerns is that you really need to see what's happening at night when it's darker out and you want to see what's going on, you're gonna have problems with the current versioning of this, or the current firmware, I guess you could say, of this, in that if it's plain black, if it's blackout, you're not going to see a lot. Like, you're going to see very close to your door, and then that's it. Hopefully Ring takes my recommendations and adds a new setting for all three of those infrared sensors to turn back on again. But until that happens, you got to make a choice. Do you want it really crisp and nice picture during the day, you can see a lot, or are you okay giving up the nighttime infrared imagery so you can have that clear picture during the day? This has been Jason of the Tech Truth. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one, where we'll probably be doing a series of these Ring devices. Maybe not in a row, but keep an eye out for those. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Bye.